Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be doing a full review of the F4D-1 Skyray, a currently rank 6 9.3 BR jet fighter event vehicle for the American Air Force's tech tree. I'll go over everything that you need to know before you decide to pick this vehicle up or not, including its stats, how it plays, its strengths and weaknesses. I'll give it ratings in several key areas, and then I'll give my final recommendation on if this vehicle is worth purchasing or not. Well, that said, let's get into it. To start, as always, I'll place its stats here on the side of the screen. Important stats to note are its turn time, rate of climb, and top speed. Now, for how it plays. Well, in a perfect world, the F4D-1 plays like a bat out of hell. With its largely excellent performance between its rate of climb, good acceleration, and top speed, along with great sub 1,000 km/h maneuverability, this plane should play any way that you want. Unfortunately, due to its 9.3 BR, it is constantly up tier to 10.0 or even 10.3 BR matches, meaning that you will constantly have to try to dodge high G missiles while not having any countermeasures to assist you, all while worrying about your ridiculously high 20,000 silver line repair cost. Further, and to make matters much worse, the Skyray has a massive wing rip problem that is not a skill issue, but rather seems to be a fault of the plane itself, as even other YouTubers, including the excellent Defin and Ash, have had the same issue time and time again, despite their high skill. This said, to play the Skyray, you will want to take advantage of its strengths, meaning that you should climb a bit in the beginning of the match, then boom and zoom, all while trying to keep under around 1,000 km/h, as compression above this speed will kill your maneuverability. If you can manage to do this, you will be able to successfully turn in on enemy fighters and intercept enemy bombers and strike aircraft. Being that you have 4 missiles, albeit AIM-9Bs, you should be able to fire them at around 2 kilometers away from your target, though preferably closer, and get a few kills, especially against less maneuverable enemies and bots. Still, if you can manage to get on the enemy 6 without breaking your wings, your 20mm cannon should make short work of them, as they are very accurate and are decently powerful when equipped with air belts. In short, you will want to start a bit high in the sky, probably around 3,000 to 5,000 meters depending on your preference, swoop down against enemies that are either less maneuverable than you or don't have countermeasures, and then start to try to take off targets of opportunity, all while dodging advanced missiles. When you hit a home run with this plane, you hit it far, but it will fail you more often than almost every other plane in-game due to its sheer inability to handle maneuvers that almost every other jet can handle, especially with slight negative G maneuvers at higher speeds. Seriously, you will be dogfighting with this plane and then boom, your wing is gone. You could even just be flying and start to try to do a maneuver and boom, your wing is gone. It is terrible. And now with all that out of the way, let's get into its strengths and weaknesses. And first, for its strengths, it has nearly indestructible flaps that can deploy at over 1,100 km/h. Second, it has good energy retention. In fact, actually some of the best I've ever seen. Third, in my opinion, it has good maneuverability at speeds below 2,000 km/h. Fourth, it has fantastic rate of climb and pretty good overall top speed, though again, you will be outclassed by a lot of planes, especially in an up tier, especially at 10.3 BR. Fourth, it has a ballistics computer and plenty of rockets for anti-ground work for close air support. Fifth, it has fairly powerful and incredibly accurate 20mm cannons. Beyond this, though they are not great, it can still carry 4 AIM-9Bs. And finally, it has a good radar, though it isn't all too useful outside of sim battles and finding the last guy in RV. And now for its weaknesses. The Skyray is currently the absolute king of wing ripping, and will have wing rips and maneuvers that no other plane in-game has, such as simple turning. Second, the repair cost is currently astronomical, at over 20,000 silver lines when fully upgraded, which means that when combined with the wing rip issue, this plane can and will be a money sink. Third, it has very few rounds, with only 65 rounds per 20mm cannon, and it has 4 of them. Fourth, it can only carry rockets and no bombs for close air support. Further, at least currently, you can only carry rockets or missiles, not a combination of the two. Fifth, it has no countermeasures. While not necessarily bad in a down tier, are sorely needed when in an up tier, as you're being bombarded by R60s and more advanced AIM-9s. Sixth, while you can carry 4 of them, the AIM-9Bs are essentially limited to picking off bombers, damaged planes, and people that are unaware of their surroundings, as well as bot kills. Beyond this, compression at over 1,000 kilometers per hour is terrible, meaning that you will lose a large amount of your maneuverability beyond this speed. For its 8th weakness, its afterburner consumes fuel faster than most jets with an afterburner, and finally, it is in an up tier in nearly every match, all the way up to 10 or even 10.3 BR. Now with that said, let's get into how I score this plane, and first I'll start with dogfighting. These are some of the toughest scores I've ever had to give, because on one hand, it has a largely great flight performance, while on the other hand, the Skyray's wings will break constantly, and it's constantly in an up tier. That said, I give the Skyray a 5.5 out of 10 for dogfighting. When this plane does not break its wings, it will actually perform quite well in a dogfight, barring that you waste your ammunition. If you can control your shots and learn where to best fire with this plane, you should do quite well with it. Between its excellent rate of climb, good acceleration, and what I feel is its good maneuverability, you can dogfight with most planes that decide to get into turn fights with you. The issue is that, again, wing rips occur incredibly frequently, and you will be up-tiered very often, meaning that, especially with MiGs and even F5Cs, you will be out-accelerated, outgunned, and out-missiled in mostly every fight, and even on occasion out-turned. If it didn't have the wing rip issues, and even if it were still up-tiered, I'd feel comfortable bringing this score for dogfighting up to a 6.5 out of 10. And if it wasn't always up tiered and it didn't have the wing issues, probably a 7.5 out of 10. But unfortunately, this is the reality that the Skyray currently faces. And now for close air support. I give the Skyray a 2.5 out of 10. I hope you like rockets because that is all that this plane has. While the Mighty Mouse rockets are definitely decent, you need a direct hit on enemies to even possibly get a kill, due to the small size of the ordnance. Thankfully, you can have up to 114 of them, but this plane is by no means a close air support aircraft. Worse yet is that, at least currently, you cannot equip missiles with the rockets, meaning that you can either perform only weak close air support or weak air cover. And now finally, for my overall score. Unfortunately, at least thus far, unless they fix it, I have to give the F4D-1 Skyray my worst score of any vehicle that I have reviewed thus far, a 4 out of 10. While it has the capability to perform very well, its airframe will simply let you down, and when combined with low ammunition count, mediocre missiles, and the fact that it is constantly up-tiered, and that it has a 20,000 Silverline repair bill, the Skyray is almost always going to face an uphill battle, and will unfortunately be in the hangar for the most part. And now finally, for my final recommendation, if you couldn't guess it by now, well, let's get into it. In my time with flying with this plane, I've died by wing rip likely 3 times more than I've been killed by actual enemies. I wish this were a gross exaggeration, but it isn't. Simply put, at least as of current, the flight model is such that even if you do the same maneuver twice at the same speed and altitude, you'll probably get wing ripped once and then get off scot-free the other time. Even a slight shake while turning will rip your wing. You can't safely pursue enemies that are pulling defensive maneuvers to make you miss your shots, as if you follow their lead, you will run into a greater chance of wing rip. Altogether, while this plane is a fantastic performer, it has absolutely crazy high wing rip rates and an equally high repair cost, meaning that you will end up paying big time if you do not play this plane perfectly all of the time. Even still, what might seem like being perfect will result in the disintegration of your wing. That's why in Air AB, this plane is absolutely fantastic, as wing rip is not a problem, thus allowing the Skyray to be as good as it can be, which is an odd thing to say, but it is 100% true. While I do love the performance of this plane, even I am nervous about using it, as it cannot handle the same maneuvers that almost every other plane in War Thunder can handle with ease. That said, do I recommend this plane? With its current flight/wing rip model, no, I cannot recommend this plane. If you buy this, especially if you are new or an inexperienced player, you will lose Silverlines faster than you can burn them. While it is smooth and absolutely capable of outflying almost every plane in every match that you enter, its sheer number of wing rips will outweigh the good that this plane provides. As such, until the flight model is fixed or the egregiously high repair cost is reduced, I will not be able to recommend the purchase of this vehicle, no matter how much I want to. Pick up a Premium instead, as those have premium RP and Silverline boosters, whereas the Skyray does not, and they don't have nearly as many issues as the Skyray has. But that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this plane, about this review. I want to hear it. I want to see it. Either way, again, thanks guys, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.